Cheers. Hot tea, lovely tea with a nice ginger biscuits. Lovely, lovely. Good morning, everyone. It's the Final Word Show. It's Sunday. It's raining out there. It's the April showers. How are we all feeling? How are we all feeling? Day after Final Word. Call it what you want. Like you said, it's the next day. How are we feeling? Are we still feeling what we were feeling yesterday after the game, everyone? Very, very odd times, isn't it, West Ham fans? Very, very odd times. In any other day in a normal history of West Ham United, if you came from planet Moon, Mars, picked up the newspapers and saw that it finished West Ham United 2, Liverpool 2, you would have been very, very happy with that. Very, very happy with that. But what's astonishing, a bit like how I'm feeling, is when you look at the comments, certainly on my page and everywhere else, people are just not bothered about it. People are not bothered about it. The people that were there were pretty bored with it. Large parts of the game, that's what I felt watching it from home, everyone. That's kind of what's on everyone's minds. And what's on everyone's minds is how the game started. Very, very quiet. Really, really below average atmosphere. And that is linked to the way we play and start. As soon as the game started, we're playing deep, we're backing off, low block, don't want the ball, and just defending in numbers. Oh, mate, I've just had enough of this. And that doesn't create any atmosphere, as you saw from the Leverkusen game. Atmosphere is created when you attack the opposition, you go at the opposition with ambition to get a goal, which is football. To win football games, you've got to score goals, and starting off the way we do, it just doesn't get the crowd off their seats. And yep, the bubble song, the first minute is all fine. And after that, when we haven't got possession, we're not going at the team, we're not crossing, we're not putting any pressure on, we're not pressing, it goes completely flat. That's one of the biggest takeaways from yesterday. People are not bothered about the result like me. If we drew, which we did, or we've lost, it's fucking about the same to me. If anything, we weren't going to get Europe anyway, and we needed a win to kind of get closer to that. Probably not going to happen anyway if we'd won, but same as Liverpool fans, they're not really bothered. It's very, very one of those things really. And yeah, atmosphere wasn't good, created by the low block style, and people have just had enough. They want him to go, and it is a painful, slow, painful death, really. I will be doing another show on Fonseca, I think, today, and I will mention a little bit about what else is coming out the news this morning. So that's for another show, the manager situation, really. But yeah, historically, this was a very average Liverpool team, missing Salah and Nunes and Slobberly and people like that. And I think there were I keep saying this, we've got 3, 4, 5 really good players, and yeah, if we'd bought a striker in the summer and or in the winter and 1 or 2 other players, then because when you have a look at the results since January, you would see how many points we've dropped. And the one that's going to hurt me the most is the Sheffield United one and the Burnley one, perhaps. They're historically 2 of the most poorest teams the Premier League's ever seen. Sheffield United get whacked 4, 5, 6 every single week. And what do we do? 2-2. Typical. This was a time when Antonio missed large parts of the season. We didn't have a striker. Bowen was trying to do what he could, and he did all right. We did all right. I mean, Bowen has matched Kenya's record goals in the season, so well done to Bowen. But yeah, I think he was poor. It is really odd, isn't it? Even listening to the fan cams and things like that, people are just, I think they're on holiday. Their minds are on summer holidays already. I think mine's is, and I just want this nightmare season to end. I saw that TalkSport again winding West Ham fans up. And just saying things like, if they don't applaud David Moyes in the last game, and then they don't deserve to be West Ham fans, and all that. Jamie O'Hara winding everyone up, fucking stupid guy. That guy gets anywhere near West Ham fans or West Ham ground, he better be careful, mate. That's all I'll say. Paqueta's another one, isn't it, gentlemen? Paqueta's another one, virtually been below his reasonably high standards. So last 4, 5, 6, 7 games been fairly quiet. And like I said, I actually want him to be sold to get the money for the new manager. I actually want him to be sold because If he stays, this thing over him will always be there because he wants to leave. If he stays with West Ham by hook or crook, like it's because City don't want him or no one else wants him, right? And that's why he'll always be egging to move. He's a bit like Arnie, so I don't want him in and around the club. I'd rather get the 85 and get someone else in who's more consistent, more reliable, less yellow cards. That's just me. If he stays, then he has to sign a new contract where we stick 125 million clause in it or fuck off. Simple as that for me. I don't give a shit. I do not want to lose Kudos. I'll be very, very fucking angry then because he's literally only been at the club a season. There's no reason for him to go anywhere, really. And the other thing is, everyone, is the David Moyes comments. Like the Spurs game, like I mentioned, Postecoglou said he was disappointed with the draw at West Ham. You wanted to win. Great comments, great comments. David Moyes, Spurs, great result. Very, very happy with the draw. Yesterday, same again. Wonderful result. Great result. Very happy with the draw. So he fucking happy with the draw. Which manager's that happy with every fucking game nearly being a draw or a defeat? The guy's just a fucking joke. He's got his head up his arse. And it's a slow fucking death for all of us, really. So it's just for things like that. I don't want a manager like that. I want an ambitious manager who gives really vibrant, positive comments. You reflect that in his team tactics on the pitch. And then that'll be reflected in a much better atmosphere at the ground. I can promise you that, really. So, yeah. That's kind of what it is. I mean, you saw what happened in the game. It was kind of a Bowen header in the first half. Cross came in a normal season. Liverpool centre-halves should really, should really beat Bowen in the air. But Bowen somehow fell to him and he finished quite well. Fairly flat first half. That was the only talking point, really. And then second half, like I said, that window between 45 and 50 minutes, we've let in so many goals. 0 to 5, 45 to 50, we let in so many goals. That just tells you, like, when they come out of the dressing room, they're not fucking even listen to what's been said, or something probably hasn't been said, I don't know. But Liverpool came out, much, much better at the tracks, and they were going for it. And then, they went 2-1 up. Quite fortunate in some way, some of the goals, especially the second one, a bit of a mix-up. And it kind of went off Souček in the end, I think, on the goal line. But Kafal was involved in that, and the goalkeeper was involved in that, Areola as well. And they were 2-1 up. And it's that kind of game. They were a little bit inconsistent like us. Pretty flat, both teams, like the atmosphere. And anything could have happened, like I said. And we got back in the game. Antonio, one of those headers where at 199 go over the bar. This one went in. I don't think he fucking means anything when he goes in. But it looked like quite a well-executed concise header. I don't fucking think it was like that. It looks like that, but listen, that's not Antonio, mate. But good. I mean, it's nice for him. He got a goal. And that was 2-2. And then that controversial moment where the ball was kind of live with Areola and the referee bizarrely stopped it when I think their striker had every right to just roll the ball into the net and it would have been a goal. So I think they picked that up. Ian Wright, I think, is mentioning that, like every big game, VAR and the referees are having a complete nightmare. I think VAR needs to be shaken up. And my view on VAR, everyone, is that leave it for another season, but you must, in the VAR room, you must replace every single person in there with an ex-footballer who's retired. You've got to replace all these odd bods from wherever they've come from. You've got to have ex-footballers in that VAR room. That's the last chance the VAR's got to improve, and it's not going to be improved because ex-footballers know the game. They know when players are diving, they're milking it, they're lying about their injuries, they're faking injury, they're cheating. That's happening a lot. VAR really needs to next season also pick up on people diving like Saka, Havertz, like half the Arsenal team. They need to set a precedent and start booking players for diving, because we're the only club that doesn't dive, and we get penalised. Antonio never gets a free kick. Bowen never gets a free kick because we don't go down and we don't roll over screaming like Arsenal in particular. So I think VAR needs to be shaken a bit next season. We can't carry on like this anymore. And for me, every single person in that VAR room has got to be an ex-footballer from next season. There's plenty of them about, plenty of them educated ones there. That for me would be the way forward, really. Apart from that, I think if I have a look where we're going to finish, it's quite tricky. Everyone's bunched together. I mean, Chelsea are only a point behind with kind of 2 games in hand in ninth. Wolves are 3 points behind, similar goal difference. Bournemouth one game behind, 4 points behind. So yeah, it looks like we're going to be, with a bit of luck, we might just about finish top 10. I think can make what you want out of that. For me, it's a huge mixed opportunity to finish 7th. I think this was a pretty poor league. You can see the inconsistency of Chelsea, Newcastle, Man United, all these teams, and I think we should have nailed 6th or 7th. We were in a really good position after Christmas, but as you know, I keep banging my head on the wall. The transfer window was non-existent business, and we've suffered big time. Whether that was the board not trusting Moyes with any more money, any more players, but we've suffered. The fans have suffered. The league team will suffer, and going into the market, trying to sign players that your fellow clubs who are in Europe, it's going to be hard because we've been in Europe 3 years and we bought some good players in, don't get me wrong, but we've still not bought in enough, in my view, when we had that edge over a lot of teams, us being in Europe, established in Europe, and that could come back to bite us. The positive side of not being in Europe for me is we're back to Saturdays. I absolutely love Saturdays, 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock kickoffs. It's going to be a huge game changer for me. Get the train, get home for 7, 8, 9. I just like Saturdays. And the new manager will hopefully not have the distraction of European games. And if we can finish in the top 10 with a shit manager, shit tactics, then I'm sure with a reasonably good positive manager, with a reasonably good squad, and reasonably 170, 180, 190 million to spend, I'm sure we can get Europe in the league next season, hopefully. But then sod's law is that Chelsea ain't going to remain shit. United are not going to remain shit. Newcastle got everlasting supply of Willy Wonka gold money. I think we missed a trick this season. Brighton will be in, and they'll come back. They've got a lot of money in the coffers. Don't forget that they sold a lot of players in the summer, and they were still in and around us, really. So yeah, and I won't be going to any more games this season. I think we got Luton, so good luck to you guys who are going to the couple of home remaining games, really. I think that's it from me. Apart from that, let's keep an eye on what happens with Ben Johnson's contract, Mubama's contract, Craswell's contract, Kufal's contract extension talks. Actually, there's one more story I've just thought of. There's a young kid, he's 18 years old, he's an attacking midfielder from the academy. He's got loads of goals and assists. He signed a 2-year, he's got 2 years left on his contract, and I don't know, I've got to do a show on this. Why are we losing all our academy stars? There's a centre-back that went to Chelsea, they nicked him. Man City have nicked 1 or 2 from us. Newcastle are making a name for themselves. They're going around the country pinching these kids that 16, 17, 18, 19 from academies. How can this be allowed to happen? How can you have a kid who suddenly everyone knows at the age of 16, 17, 18 he's going to make it, but he's been with you since the age of 12, 11. But how can Newcastle just come along and nick him? I mean, what kind of advice are the parents giving them? Are the parents getting a car, getting a house, and they're like doing that? It shouldn't be allowed to happen. If it's allowed to happen over and over again, then I would just close the academy. I would not fucking bother. If every decent player is going to be stolen by Liverpool, Man City, Newcastle, Chelsea, then what is the point of having an academy if you're not going to get any money, any compensation for it? So I'm very, very alarmed by that stories yesterday that Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool are all after this 18-year-old kid we got in our under-18, under-23 team, and it's got 2 years to go, so how can they buy him? I mean, why would that be even a story? I'm very, very concerned how we are powerless to lose youngsters like that. It's very, very odd, very, very... And this guy came from Man City, by the way. He came from Man City. But that's my last point, everyone. So have a good Sunday. Hopefully the rain will stop. I can get out back in the garden, finish off my projects. And I'll do a show on the manager situation as well. So you guys take care. Please share and subscribe if you haven't. We're heading towards 3,000 fans. So yeah, keep supporting me, keep watching me, and keep putting your comments in there. And I'll reply to each one. Take care. Good morning. My tea's gone.